What is up, you guys? My name is Eric V, and you're welcome to the Real Radar Radio Show. I kind of should have been a whole lot better, that intro. Welcome to the Real Radar Radio Show. I'm your host, Eric V, and I have been surprised with myself because there has been a pretty good track record with how I've been maintaining this whole month of October thing at a whole point right now. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about, aside from, other things spooky season related, I wanted to kind of touch base on the season in general. And I think it's really shaping up to be a really good Halloween/fall season because, man, I don't know why is it this time of year that makes the weather seem so much more mysterious and so much more like quiet, but at the same time really appealing, really approachable. It's really fun. I mean, you get sucked into the atmosphere and the whole setting in the night. I mean, like I came into work tonight at 8 and I walked out of the apartment building and I looked up at the sky and I was like, man, seeing a bunch of gray and dark colored, but at the same time, the approach of the cold front that's just about to come in tonight. I mean, you can smell it. I mean, you can smell the change in the air, and it's just it feels so much more like Halloween. It's getting so much closer, and I'm getting super excited about this, man. I can't stress that enough. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of fun this season. I mean, with Halloween around the corner, there's just a lot of people that would say that there's gonna be some cliche Halloween costumes out there, and I couldn't agree anymore. I mean, if you really think about it, each and every year there's always one or two characters that people seem to overdo it or try to one another with Halloween. A couple of years ago when it came out in theaters, everybody dressed as Pennywise, and everybody made it a point to watch the movie and get real sucked in the whole approach and how he was dressed and all that, and it worked out. People loved the look and people fell in love with it. Let's fast forward to present day where people are going to be dressing as Harley Quinn, Pennywise once again. Some people will dress as Michael Myers. I rarely see anybody ever dress like Michael Myers or any original horror, classics anymore. I mean, it's more like Pennywise, Annabelle, the girl from The Ring, and now that the movie The Joker has hit theaters, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of people dressed as the Joker. I mean, it's going to be somewhat cliche. It's going to kind of grow a little tired of it, but I mean, it's going to be a little refreshing because looking at the suit that the Joker wore in the movie, and it's kind of a gentle nod to the Cesar Romero Joker back in the day. Subtle hints to other characters who were made in the film. Which, by the way, if you have not gone to go see the Joaquin Phoenix Joker in theaters, it is an amazing film. That movie is hands down one of the best films of the year. If not, I truly believe, and I'm not trying to jump on anybody's bandwagon here or ruin anybody's parade, but Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker is the embodiment of the character alone. And his portrayal of the Joker, next to Heath Ledger's, is nearly as iconic as Heath Ledger's. Heath Ledger had this approach to the character that was, crazy and psychotic, and he was just, in this realm of being, not just someone who doesn't have a sort of agenda to follow, but the sort of person who, who thinks as a madman, as a psychotic. And when you watch this version of the Joker in theaters with Joaquin Phoenix. When I tell you that this man has basically poured his entire, body and his entire, ability into this character, I'm not lying about it. I'm not stressing about it. I'm not trying to jazz it up in any way whatsoever. But this version of the Joker is, wow. It is something that I did not expect. Given the trailer, I mean, you kind of get the feel for how he's going to be, in this movie. It is totally different from, what you see in the trailer. What you see is just, a small glimpse, but you don't get the full picture, the full reasoning by why he became the way he is. And it's just, it's powerful. I can't even begin to describe it. But, I mean, I sat in that theater, and I learned a lot of things while watching this movie. And I'm not one to, preach about how, certain things go with certain things, or, how things of that nature should be, referred to as this and that, or have labels. But, and when you watch a movie, of course, you watch a movie for the entertainment aspect. You want to be entertained. You're invested into this movie because of general hype, or the character, or maybe it's a sequel, maybe it is a continuation to a story that you have already watched, a prologue, a prequel, something that kind of makes you more interested in this movie, because we've been garnishing and pushing for movies to be more original, more outgoing, more tailored to the people who really like to invest in movies that are, movies that we would like to see when we were growing up. I mean, cartoon characters that we saw growing up, like Ninja Turtles, Transformers, any Marvel movie is really like an arm's length away at this point. But this movie in particular, Joker, was, it taught me a lot, and it taught me, how just how you should treat people goes a long way. I mean, you really do look at how people are, I guess, viewed in this aspect of where a lot of people still find a way to bully one another. I mean, we're in 2019, where you would think that bullying wouldn't be a thing. You would think that bullying was just a thing of the past, and people don't do that anymore, because honestly, we're all too mature for our own good to not bully somebody. But you look at somebody like the character that Joaquin Phoenix played in the Joker, Arthur Fleck, and of course, excuse me, but if you have not seen the movie The Joker, I suggest that you guys go and watch The Joker, because I will be discussing a few key points and plot points from the movie. That just, not so much that I want to ruin the fact that I don't want to ruin, the experience for you, but what I have to say coincides with how the movie goes, and how it kind of played out, and it makes so much more sense for me to discuss it, because I think you guys would get more of a general consensus of what it is that I'm trying to discuss in terms of the movie and in terms of what I'm talking about. So, spoiler alert, this is your chance to stop the episode right now and just continue the episode at a later date after you watch the movie. And if not, feeling like to listen to, my explanation, and by all means, if you agree with what I'm talking about discussing, then feel free to go and watch the movie, and see if I was right, or see if I was somewhat off on a few things. But here we go. While I was watching this movie, I realized that the character Arthur Fleck is bullied in a way that is tailored to that time in the movie. I mean, and it is 1981. The movie is placed in this time period where a lot of people, still bullied one another, because it was tension, in the city that he was in, Gotham City. A lot of tension, a lot of people still, have no no do no do-gooders in the city. I mean, there was no um, room for anybody who had any good deeds to do in the whole city. Everybody really treated each other really shitty. And Arthur is this person who a lot of people see as a target who can be ridiculed and made fun of easily because he has a certain type of way of the life that he lives. He has these certain aspects in his life that make him that much more targetable because he has schizophrenia. He's a bit of a loner. He's always alone. He has his mother, but he's so fixated on the fact that he's not I guess given the proper chance to become somebody who he really wants to be. And he longs for the connectivity with other people. But he's, like I said, he's a loner. The guy has no aspect to really be really continuous with somebody, or having been able to carry on a relationship with anybody, whether it is a personal relationship, a friend, or friendship in any which way or form. But looking at him, and you're actually this. I feel like this is a movie that really appeals to me because I'm literally sitting in the theater and I'm thinking, in most cases, I watch a movie where I'm watching a movie where I'm there to be entertained. I'm there to be enthralled by the story, and I'm there to be encompassed by this whole setting and the visceral storytelling that this movie is trying to tell me. Because like others, myself, like others out there, I've been looking forward to this movie for quite some time. When it was announced that Joaquin was going to be the new Joker, a lot of people were very not on board with how he was casted. And a lot of people see Joaquin Phoenix as a typecast where he plays somebody that just doesn't seem to be I guess associated with how this character is developed, or how we all know how the Joker can be based on previous iterations of films, comics, cartoons, so on and so forth. And the one thing that threw me off when it was announced that he was a Joker, when director Todd Phillips threw out a teaser of the Joker, when he had him, I guess, doing like a screen test or whatever as Joker, it really encompassed the fact that I was really 99.9% thrown off by how he was approaching this character take. And when he was in full clown makeup and he smiles for the camera and he was just enthralled in that moment, at the same time he was he wasn't pleased. It just seemed so chaotic, so psychotic, and so crazy, in the sense that you think that it would be that he would be portrayed as the Joker. He would portray the Joker in a different light. But I mean, when you watch the movie, I'm so enthralled, and I keep using that word a lot, but it's the truth. I watched this movie and I felt for this character, and I don't think I've ever felt for any other character in any other movies that I watched, recently, previously, and all my years of watching movies and watching TV and all these shows. I've never been so well invested into a character like Joker, like Arthur, that I've never felt so connected with this, with how he felt. And I'm literally watching how lonely this guy is, and I'm literally seeing how much that he deals with, and how much he goes through, and what it is like to feel alone, feel closed off, feel reserved, feel not being able to relate to anybody, or feel weird, or feel strange. And I'm literally watching the descent of a man who is slowly falling into this cognitive mind where he's just so, you know, so low to the point where he just snaps. He's not one with himself anymore. He's not, you know, part of this world where he feels like he could just talk it out, talk whatever he's feeling out with somebody, because he's reached his breaking point. He's at his limit where he knows that he's had enough. He knows that he feels like he deserves better. He knows that, you know, with all that's going on with his mother, with Thomas Wayne, with, you know, Zazie Beetz' character in the film, with his social worker, with everything that he's witnessing and he's experiencing, you know, throughout the course of the film, you see how lonely he is. You see how he dreams of scenarios of how he's not lonely, how he's with this girl, how he's trying to picture his life, you know, with this one person, how he approaches his comedy career, and how a lot of people just don't see him as funny, how people make fun of him, like Murray Franklin, played by Robert De Niro in the film, how he's being, you know, made fun of, how people just don't see him or take him seriously because of the way he is, and how people just brush him off to the side and think that he's some sort of you know, weirdo, some freak, some outcast. But at the same time, you feel bad because, I mean, you literally know that while you're watching this movie, you feel like you know somebody who's almost exactly like that. I went to high school with, not just high school, I went to my entire, like, educational career, if you would say, my whole educational journey from elementary all the way to high school, and I knew just a handful of people who just fit that whole realm of, you know, loneliness, and they fit that whole realm of, you know, being reserved, but not reserved to themselves, but reserved to other people. How, you know, they just didn't get along with other people. Like, obviously, you know, in every high school, in every group, in every school across this nation knows that there are certain cliques, there are certain clubs, there are certain groups that hang out with one another. Jocks with jocks, cheerleaders go with cheerleaders, mathletes, decathlon students stay together. Nerds and dweebs are trying to assert their dominance in their whole realm of who's a nerd, who's a dweeb, who's a geek, who's, you know, all that. I've known people from literally almost every aspect of this spectrum, from all of these groups, to be deemed weird, be deemed crazy, be deemed, you know, outcast, and so on and so forth. Yeah, cheerleaders. Yeah, of course. I know this one girl who I was in middle school with, who at the time when I was in football, and I knew who she was, and, you know, at the time we had I guess we had like a homecoming or something going on during the football season, and she turned out to be this totally different person that I didn't know that she could be. And I recently saw her at I guess you could say, like, a supply store for like books and pens and office supplies and stuff where she works, and I couldn't believe how her life panned out to be into this totally different person, where she's just I think that she's just gone completely, you know, in a different direction that I would have never expected, because she was just so involved and so connected with how she was this one person, and she turned out to be this totally different person. And I guess that's life in general. When you move on in life, you know, you know this certain person in high school, and obviously the class clown, you know, the most popular guy, girl, the biggest nerd that you had, you know, they obviously turn out completely different how we see them. And that's not to put a damper on anybody or, you know, make anybody feel a certain type of way. But I know this one guy, aside from this girl, I know this one guy who I went to school with from elementary all the way to high school. And I will not provide any names, because due to the fact that I have respect for this guy, and I want to keep that level of secrecy, obviously. But I went to school with this guy, and to me, I feel like he was weird. I felt like he was a little strange, a little out there. This guy liked, anime. He liked running, like a Naruto runner. I guess with his arms, thrown back. He was a big geek kind of nerdy guy. I guess way more than I was at that point. I mean, I cannot sit here and honestly say that I was captain of the football team, or I was, an athlete of, many trades. I mean, I did play baseball, I did play basketball, I did play some football, but I mean, in no way, shape, or form was I, associated with Giants. I stayed in my little corner of, movie geeks and nerds, and we just loved, all entertainment and comics and books and games and stuff. And but this one particular person I felt was way more weird and way more, off than a lot of other people. And a lot of people used to make fun of him a lot of the time. And I remember that this one time in elementary, I had joined or I attended a meeting for, I guess, Boy Scouts. I tried to join Boy Scouts at one point, and we ended up having the meeting at this guy's house, this same weird guy, and people showed up and everything, and I remember a lot of kids made fun of him, and I remember wondering why people would do that type of thing, why people would make fun of him. And there was one time he got into a fight, or he almost got into a fight with a friend of mine, and a friend of mine at the time, and I remember he threw it on his backpack. He was in this fit of rage where he threw it on his backpack, and he balled up his fist, and he was ready to fight, and he was just ready to just throw the first swing. And I remember, once it was apparent that he was ready to fight, everybody just stopped, doing what they were doing just to watch my friend belittle this guy in front of everybody, and not just belittle him, but make fun of him for standing up for himself. And I felt, now that I look at it, reflecting back at it, I feel horrible, and I can't take that back, because I don't know whatever happened to this guy, and I don't know whatever happened to him, and I don't know what his life became. I haven't seen him since high school, and I feel horrible, because I feel like if in that moment of time, he needed someone to be his friend. And I think, like myself, like anybody else, knows somebody out there who knows that could have been nicer to somebody, or could have treated somebody a little differently. And I think that's what makes that much more of a difference when you treat somebody, how you treat other people, how you treat, your mom, or how you treat your brother, your sister, your cousin, your aunt, your nephew, your niece, your neighbor, your best friend. I mean, kindness goes a long way, obviously, and being generous and being friendly to somebody goes a long way. And whether you know somebody, you know them very well, you've known them all your life, or whether you just met somebody, it means so much more to be nice to somebody, because you have that feeling of wanting to be wanted, but not at the same time wanting to be needed, wanting to be caregiving, and wanting to be sympathetic, and wanting to be able to help somebody in need. And now that we're in 2019, looking back at all those years that I spent in school, and knowing all these, a vast array of people that I've known from my entire life, I look at the people that didn't have the fortunate, means to have friends or be very social in awkward situations or situations where they don't have a lot of friends, and that's why I open up, a whole bunch of opportunities to engage with people as much as I can, even if it's through this podcast. I mean, I try to find a way to, want to know people, want to get to know people, and be able to talk to people. And, even if it's just about a topic that I discussed, a book, a movie, a video game, a comic, something that would make somebody want to be more involved, be more attentive, or be more approachable, or just to make that one person feel involved in a conversation where a lot of people know it's tough to be making friends in today's society. I mean, a lot of people don't make friends in today's society because it's difficult. And in today's day and age, I mean, the people that you grow up with, are your friends. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have a best friend and my best man, who's going to be my best man at my wedding next month. I've known him since the third grade. I've known him for literally since I was a kid, and he's been one of my best friends. And I say one of my best friends, but he is my ultimate best friend because he's the last one. He's the last one, and everybody that I knew growing up grew up. I mean, they're getting married, or they got married, or they have kids, or they're in the process of having kids, or they're on their third kid, or they moved away, or they just simply fall out and don't talk to you. And that's the shitty part. That is the shitty part, because you meet people along the way, and you lose people, and you don't have friends forever. You don't have the same friends that you do when you're little, when you grow up to in high school or past that. It's a harsh lesson for a lot of people to learn that, because growing up, you're so accustomed to meeting certain people, being friends with certain people, and yeah, I mean, you can be friends with somebody and you can be the best of friends. Some relationships, pan out and it works for the best, and others just seem to fall apart, and they either drift away, or some people move away, or they just don't be friends anymore. And I want to make it a point to be nice and kind of be more respectable to others and be there for people who just don't seem to feel like themselves anymore. It's a little difficult to pinpoint how somebody's feeling when you don't know how they initially truly feel, unless you befriend them and try to relate to them and try to talk to them in a nice, meaningful manner, to be more approachable, to be more likable, and to kind of help somebody out along the way. Because you got to think, if you're in that person's position, how would that make you feel? And how would you feel if people didn't like you for, who you are, what you like, what kind of music you listen to, what movies you like, what books you read, how you dress, how your family is, how, what houses you live in, or what clothes you wear, Today's society makes fun of everything in that aspect and so much more. And I remember back in the day when you got in trouble for picking on a kid, you got in trouble. And now, kids growing up today, in today's more technologically advanced, world, we have so many means of bullying, whether it's online through social media like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, or people hack into people's accounts and phones nowadays. They harass each other, they call each other, they leave harassing text messages, phone calls, voicemails. I have online cyberbullying. uh, bullying that still exists in campuses, on campuses and stuff. It's tough. It really is. I read this really sad story just a few days ago about a kid who was bullied um, just a few weeks ago at a school, and he was pushed and shoved, and he had been bullied before, and the school obviously didn't do anything to protect this kid, and this kid was pushed and shoved, and he was shoved so hard he had fallen, and he had fallen over, and he hit his head on a concrete pillar there at the school, and he ended up in the hospital for a few days, and he ended up passing away from his injuries. And I felt like that was really sad to hear, because the family obviously had an outcry for the school not being able to do anything for their son in any way, shape, or form to protect him, to watch over him. And it's stuff like this that you see that happens in real life, where you see that people or kids are being picked on because of the way that they look, because of the way that they dress, because of the way they comb their hair, or they wear their shoes or their pants, or the kind of what kind of environment they grow up, what kind of house they have, how much money their parents make. It's a whole different ball game now, because it's stretched out to all these outlets like social media, and it makes it so much more difficult for kids to grow up now in today's age, because anybody and everybody can make fun of each other, and in the way I see it, nobody in their right mind stands up for these kids, and these kids, they just roll with it, and because they know that nothing will happen, a lot of these kids turn to bad roads that lead to nowhere, like getting into trouble, and the cycle is just continuous. Bullying is not learned, it's not inherited. It's taught. It's learned from watching other people being mean to other people. Whether they're watching their parents fight with one another over a domestic dispute, or watching the violence on TV unravel. I'm not saying that TV and movies depict violence or play into how people approach one another, but I mean it's a learned nature. It's a more of a feeling of how people know that if you're not mean to somebody, because you have to have that kind of hate in your heart to reflect that towards somebody. If you hate somebody because of the way that they dress, or the way that they act, or they talk, or whatever the case may be, that's childish. But I mean, we grew up where you're mean to somebody, but you can't be that way can't be that way back to that person, because you got to be the bigger person. You got to smile. You got to keep your head up. You got to stay tough. And nowadays, when kids get hurt, they get hurt, and not all kids are standing up for themselves. A lot of kids, in their own right, have the right to stand up for themselves and speak up. But in most cases, some kids don't, because they just feel embarrassed. They feel ashamed. They feel like they shouldn't have to say something. It should be pretty self-evident that they are harassed, that they're bullied. And I really feel bad that this kid had passed away because of bullying, and now nothing. I mean, there's nothing to go off of that. I mean, the life was lost because of this. And I will share something with you that happened locally here where I work. Obviously, I'm not disclosing names or locations, but it did happen, here in town, and there was a situation where this kid was in middle school, and it was a school-related field trip that they were attending, and this kid had jumped out of the back of a moving school bus on the expressway onto the road and fatally passed away. And the result from this was from a breakup he had with his girlfriend at the time. And the kid was so distraught, so sad, and so felt so horrible. In that moment, he felt he had no one to talk to, and there's just so much blame in this. There's so much bad negativity in this that it's just, it goes back and forth with, who did what, why did this happen, how come it has happened, where were the teachers, where were the chaperones, where were the parents, and all this. And it's a big plethora of things that just lead to one another. No, there was no kid, no parent, no chaperone at the back of the bus. This kid was in the way back of the bus. He flung that door open and jumped, and he's no longer, in pain or anything. But and I hate to put it that way, but I mean he's no longer here because of situations that he had gone through and how he felt, and he had no one to talk to, and nobody knew what he was going through, and he kept that bottled up to himself, and it's horrible. It's a really bad feeling. So I mean, I feel for this kid, and I feel that a lot of steps and measures could have been taken to prevent things like this from happening, because it does happen on a more regular basis. And I feel like bullying and depression and feeling the sense of loneliness and being bullied. It all ties into how this character Arthur faced adversity, faced these different feelings that he had, these different approaches that he had faced throughout his whole life. The guy was lonely. He had nobody. He was, borderline schizophrenic. He was delusional. He was taking 7 different medications. He was portrayed as an outcast, as a loner, who wasn't being respected from his peers at work, his employers, his employees. No one took him seriously, and that reflects real life. People today don't see how that plays out in today's society, but it does. And there's so many people out there like the character, like Arthur, and I do realize that Arthur is a character in the movie, but there's so many people out there just like him that once you see how he is, how people respect one another and treat each other, you realize that they're just the same, person as me or you. I mean, we're all from different backgrounds and different, races and different, religions and beliefs and all that. I mean, we're still human, we're still needy, but I mean, it's at the same time, it's kind of horrible to know that, the bullying still exists today, and that people still people or kids are being driven to the point where they feel like they have no other outlet but to just, commit suicide or, harm themselves in a way that is, not appropriate at all, or, in any way, shape, or form. And I think that this movie, Joker, depicted a lot of how people may feel and how you treat one another, and how people shouldn't be made fun of for the way that they are, and shouldn't be, profiled as how people see them, and how, they should be, approached and all that. It should be more of a, reasonable, feeling of, hey, you know what, I know this person is a little out there, a little weird, a little, strange, but, it doesn't hurt to talk to that person every once in a while, or check up on them, or make sure everything's okay with them. But overall, I mean, obviously I know that this movie was made for entertainment purposes. It wasn't meant to be, pointing fingers at, controlled violence to spark, violence among the community, or among each other, or the nation, or make it seem like this movie is about horrible bad things, but it's not. I mean, this movie is downright, amazingly good, and the portrayal from Joaquin Phoenix for the character is just that much so much more cooler than I had ever imagined. But overall, I think this what it teaches us, that there's somebody out there that we can all relate to, that is like the character Arthur, that could probably use a helping hand, a friend to talk to, or someone to discuss things with or make a friend with. I mean, you never know what you're gonna get when you talk to somebody or when you try to befriend somebody. You never know what you're gonna get. I mean, that's just the overall gist of the whole thing. Um, that has been my whole spiel on the Joker. I mean, I literally talked about this for an entire 40 minutes, and I never felt better. I mean, I really liked this movie, and I really hope that a lot of people will go see it and would maybe eventually see the whole fact that I'm talking about. Again, this movie is strictly for entertainment purposes. Um, but I did learn a lot of stuff along the way about this, and in terms of the movie, and how people see other people, and how they can be, their mannerisms, their quirks, the way that they act and they talk and stuff. I learned to respect that. I learned to respect people, and I learned to respect one another. And like I said, this movie is just phenomenal. It is. The acting was amazing. The story was great. I would hate to say that this movie is a standalone movie, but if this movie ever gets a sequel, I mean, I think it deserves its rightful place um, in contention for Joaquin Phoenix getting an Oscar, because his portrayal of this character was by far one of the best portrayals of the Joker uh, I have ever seen, and I'm so happy and lucky to be alive in this in this day and age of Hollywood and cinema, where you know performances like that don't go unnoticed, because I'm not the only one petitioning for this guy to get a nomination for an Oscar, or an award of some sort. But wow, I mean, he was spot on, in his realm, in his aura of this character, and it shows. It truly shows. And once you get to know that this movie has so much more depth to it compared to other movies, it shows you that even movies like this, like the Joker, can be more sought after, with stories and details as it unravels and unfolds. And I think that the way that the story was built up on this arc, that it was created by Todd Phillips, by everybody at Warner Brothers, it shows that this can continue to go on, can be a success for Warner Brothers, can be a success for DC films. It could be, a good layout, good blueprint, just like Wonder Woman did for WB and DC, and could also be the same for the Joker. But it was a lot of fun, and I encourage you guys to go check it out, and you guys will really truly love it. I'm sure of it. I haven't spoken for 40 minutes. I am thirsty as hell. I'm so glad I got to come back and do this episode with you guys. It was a lot of fun. I hope you guys will join me for the next episode in the next few days as we gear towards Halloween, like I said. But it was it's been awesome researching a lot of things and going into more things as the time goes on. But I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care. Have fun. Go watch Joker. It's an amazing film. You guys will not be disappointed, and it's a lot of fun. Um, in a weird way, it's a lot of fun. I'll see you guys in the next episode. This is Real Radar Radio.